Good morning. On a routine SkyWest flight from Omaha to Detroit, a sudden security threat forced an emergency landing in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. A single passenger's dangerous actions, physically assaulting a flight attendant and attempting to open the emergency exit, turned a normal journey into a federal investigation. The crew's swift, decisive response ensured everyone's safety, but the incident left passengers shaken and delayed, underscoring the unpredictable nature of air travel. This event is a stark reminder. Safety in the skies depends on vigilance, cooperation, and the professionalism of flight crews. At the center of the chaos, a storm of uncertainty and fear gripped the passengers. The confined space of the airplane cabin amplified the sense of vulnerability as the situation unfolded. People were unsure of what was happening, their faces etched with concern and anxiety. The carefully orchestrated calm of air travel was shattered, replaced by an atmosphere of palpable tension. At the heart of this disruption was 24-year-old Keith A. Williams, a young man, now the focal point of an event that would alter the course of his life. He sat amongst the other passengers, seemingly unremarkable, yet about to unleash a series of actions with significant consequences. His motives remained unclear, but the impact of his behavior was undeniable. Williams is now facing serious federal charges for his actions. The gravity of the situation is underscored by the involvement of federal authorities, indicating the severity of the alleged offenses. The legal proceedings that lie ahead will determine the extent of his culpability and the repercussions he will face. The weight of the federal government now bears down upon him. But amidst the turmoil, the true heroes were the flight attendants and pilots. These individuals, trained to handle a myriad of emergency situations, stepped forward to restore order and ensure the safety of everyone on board. Their professionalism and dedication shone brightly in the face of adversity. It was their rigorous training and unwavering composure that ultimately protected everyone on board. Years of preparation, drills, and simulations equipped them with the skills and mindset necessary to navigate this crisis. They acted swiftly and decisively, prioritizing the well-being of the passengers above all else. One male flight attendant, who was unfortunately assaulted during the incident, demonstrated extraordinary courage and resilience. Despite being personally affected by the violence, he continued to perform his duties with unwavering dedication. He managed to maintain control and de-escalate the situation, preventing further escalation and potential harm. His actions were instrumental in restoring a sense of calm and security to the cabin. He became a beacon of hope in a moment of chaos. Eyewitnesses on board vividly described the fear and confusion that permeated the cabin. Passengers recounted moments of sheer panic, unsure of what was happening or how the situation would resolve. The uncertainty was agonizing, and the relief upon landing was immense. But they also spoke of the remarkable professionalism of the crew and the swift, coordinated response from law enforcement upon landing. The seamless transition from in-flight crisis to on-ground security was a testament to the preparedness and collaboration of various agencies. The sight of law enforcement officers waiting on the tarmac brought a sense of reassurance to the shaken passengers. Upon arrival, FBI agents quickly took Williams into custody, ensuring that he posed no further threat to the public. The arrest was swift and efficient, demonstrating the seriousness with which the authorities were treating the incident. This arrest immediately triggered a full-scale federal investigation, aimed at uncovering the motives behind Williams's actions and determining the full extent of any potential security breaches. Every aspect of the incident was scrutinized, leaving no stone unturned. Ultimately, the incident highlights the immense responsibility and seamless teamwork required to keep flights safe and secure. It serves as a reminder of the dedication and training of airline personnel, as well as the importance of vigilance and collaboration in the face of potential threats. The safety of air travel depends on the collective efforts of countless individuals, working together to ensure the well-being of passengers. The flight, a seemingly routine journey, commenced uneventfully. Passengers settled into their seats, anticipating a smooth and comfortable trip. The hum of the engines and the gentle ascent into the sky were the only indications that they were embarking on a journey thousands of feet above the ground. Everything appeared normal, the atmosphere relaxed, with many passengers dozing off or engrossed in their books and devices. However, approximately an hour into the flight, the tranquility was shattered. A passenger named Keith Williams began to exhibit disruptive and increasingly aggressive behavior. His actions quickly drew the attention of those around him, creating an atmosphere of unease and apprehension within the cabin. What started as minor agitation soon escalated into a full-blown disturbance, leaving fellow passengers and crew members concerned about the safety and well-being of everyone on board. Recognizing the escalating situation, a vigilant flight attendant swiftly intervened, approaching Williams in an attempt to de-escalate the conflict and restore order to the cabin. The flight attendant, trained to handle such situations, calmly tried to reason with Williams, hoping to understand the cause of his distress and find a peaceful resolution. But instead of calming down, Williams allegedly shoved the flight attendant, his aggression reaching a new level. The physical altercation sent shockwaves through the cabin, as passengers witnessed the situation spiral out of control. Adding to the chaos, Williams issued a series of verbal threats, further escalating the already tense situation. His words, laced with anger and hostility, created an atmosphere of fear and uncertainty among the passengers and crew. It was clear that the situation was rapidly deteriorating, requiring immediate and decisive action. The tension within the cabin spiked dramatically as the gravity of the situation became increasingly apparent. Passengers exchanged worried glances, their faces reflecting a mixture of fear and disbelief. The once calm atmosphere had been replaced by a palpable sense of anxiety, as everyone braced themselves for what might happen next. In a move that heightened the alarm, Williams began moving purposefully toward the emergency exit door, his intentions unclear but undeniably concerning. The sight of him approaching the emergency exit sent shivers down the spines of those who witnessed it, as they feared the potential consequences of his actions. He then attempted to open the emergency exit door mid-flight, a reckless act that could have had catastrophic consequences. Although physically impossible to open the door at such a high altitude due to the immense pressure difference, the mere attempt triggered widespread panic among the passengers. Screams filled the cabin as people scrambled for safety, fearing the worst. The scene was one of utter chaos and confusion, as the reality of the situation sunk in. The crew, recognizing the imminent danger, were forced to act swiftly and decisively to regain control of the situation and ensure the safety of everyone on board. Their training kicked in as they coordinated their efforts to subdue Williams and prevent him from causing further harm. Emergency protocols were immediately activated, setting in motion a series of procedures designed to address the crisis and mitigate any potential risks. The pilots in the cockpit began communicating with air traffic control, while the cabin crew worked to secure the aircraft and reassure the passengers. With the help of a courageous passenger, the crew managed to restrain Williams, preventing him from causing any further harm or disruption. The combined efforts of the crew and the passenger demonstrated the importance of teamwork and quick thinking in the face of adversity. Recognizing the severity of the situation, the pilots declared an emergency to air traffic control, requesting immediate assistance and priority landing at the nearest available airport. The declaration of an emergency signaled the urgency of the situation and alerted authorities on the ground to prepare for the arrival of the troubled aircraft. As a result of the emergency declaration, the flight was immediately diverted to the nearest airport, where emergency services were standing by to provide assistance upon arrival. The decision to divert the flight was made to ensure the safety of the passengers and crew and to allow law enforcement to take custody of Williams. The crew's exceptional training, combined with their quick thinking and decisive actions, played a crucial role in preventing what could have been a potential disaster. Their ability to remain calm under pressure and effectively manage the crisis ensured the safety and well-being of everyone on board. The incident is now under the intense scrutiny of federal authorities, who have launched a full investigation to determine the circumstances surrounding the event and to assess any potential security breaches. The investigation will involve interviewing passengers and crew members, reviewing flight data recorders, and examining security protocols. Williams now faces serious legal consequences for his actions, which could include hefty fines, imprisonment, and a permanent ban from flying. The severity of the charges reflects the seriousness of his behavior and the potential danger he posed to the safety of the flight. For the passengers on board, the unfolding ordeal transcended mere inconvenience. It was a plunge into the heart of fear itself. Imagine being suspended thousands of feet in the air, your safety entirely dependent on the crew and the integrity of the aircraft, when suddenly, chaos erupts. The sense of security, so carefully cultivated by the hum of the engines and the practiced smiles of the flight attendants, shatters in an instant. It was not just terrifying, but utterly surreal. The ordinary rhythm of air travel, the quiet conversations, the rustling of magazines, the gentle clinking of ice in plastic cups, all were abruptly replaced by an atmosphere of palpable dread. One eyewitness later recounted the unsettling transformation, recalling the sudden and jarring shift from the mundane sounds of travel to a cacophony of raised voices, escalating into outright aggression. The air crackled with tension, an invisible force pressing down on everyone present. And then came the collective gasp, a unified intake of breath that swept through the cabin like a chilling wave, when the flight attendant, a symbol of reassurance and order, was violently shoved aside. It was a moment that crystallized the danger, transforming abstract fear into a stark and immediate reality. As Williams, fueled by an unknown motive, lunged with alarming determination towards the emergency exit, a primal wave of fear washed over the passengers. The emergency exit, usually a reassuring symbol of safety, now represented a terrifying unknown. His actions instantly triggered a chorus of screams and widespread panic. The confined space of the aircraft cabin amplified the sense of vulnerability, turning it into a pressure cooker of fear. Every scream, every shout, every desperate plea for help added to the escalating chaos. Fortunately, the situation was quickly addressed. The flight crew, demonstrating remarkable composure under immense pressure, along with the courageous intervention of a fellow passenger, managed to stop him before he could reach the exit. Their swift and decisive actions averted what could have been a catastrophic outcome. With William subdued, they worked together, carefully but firmly restraining him for the remainder of the flight, ensuring the safety and security of everyone on board until the plane could safely land. The relief was palpable, but the tension remained thick in the air. When the captain's voice finally came over the intercom, calm and reassuring, announcing the unscheduled diversion to the nearest airport, a collective sigh of relief swept through the cabin. His steady tone and clear instructions helped to quell the remaining anxiety and restore a sense of order. As the wheels touched down on the tarmac, a spontaneous eruption of applause filled the aircraft. It was an expression of gratitude, relief, and a shared understanding of the danger they had all just faced. While shaken by the harrowing experience, the passengers were overwhelmingly grateful for the professionalism and courage displayed by the flight crew. Their training and dedication had been instrumental in ensuring the safety of everyone on board. The incident left an indelible mark on everyone who witnessed it, a stark reminder of the unpredictable nature of life and the fragility of safety, even in the most routine of circumstances. It served as a powerful illustration of both the vulnerability and the remarkable resilience of the human spirit, highlighting the bonds that can form between strangers when faced with a shared crisis. The passengers, once simply individuals sharing a flight, were now connected by a shared experience, a silent understanding of the ordeal they had endured together. Ultimately, the incident served as a vivid and unforgettable reminder of the human element at play in every flight, underscoring the potential risks and the extraordinary measures taken to ensure the safety and well-being of all those who take to the skies. After landing, law enforcement swiftly boarded the plane and arrested Williams without further incident. Passengers remained on board for hours as the FBI gathered statements and evidence. Williams was charged with interference with a flight crew, a federal crime carrying up to 20 years in prison. Prosecutors emphasized the seriousness of endangering air travel and the government's zero-tolerance stance. Once cleared, the flight continued to Detroit, with passengers arriving late but safe. The airline provided support for those affected, prioritizing safety above all else. The incident reinforced the uncompromising standards for aviation security. The crew's response was a testament to their rigorous training. Flight attendants are prepared for far more than routine service. They're trained in de-escalation, conflict management, and physical restraint. When verbal intervention failed, the crew shifted to containment, communication, and ultimately, restraint. Coordination with the cockpit was crucial, enabling the captain to make the call to divert. The use of restraint devices and assistance from passengers is a practice scenario, executed here with precision. The pilot's decision to land immediately prioritized lives over schedules. This incident showcased the effectiveness of integrated crew training in real emergencies. Unruly passengers pose serious risks: physical harm, distraction, and panic. Assaulting crew members undermines their ability to manage emergencies, endangering everyone on board. Disruptions divert the crew's focus from safety-critical duties and increase the pilot's cognitive load. Attempts to open emergency exits, while futile, can trigger mass panic and chaos. Diversions introduce new risks, as pilots must land at unfamiliar airports under stress. Every layer of disruption adds danger to a system designed for predictability and safety. The consequences of a single passenger's actions can ripple throughout the entire flight operation. Airlines and authorities use a multi-layered approach to prevent and manage in-flight threats. Ground staff are trained to spot and deny boarding to potentially disruptive passengers. In the air, crews follow a tiered threat protocol, escalating responses as needed. The cockpit remains secure, and communication is concise to minimize distractions for pilots. The FAA's zero-tolerance policy means swift legal action and hefty fines for offenders. Enhanced training and public awareness reinforce the message: safety is everyone's responsibility. These measures aim to deter incidents and maintain order in the skies. The diversion of Flight 3813 is a powerful reminder of the delicate balance of safety in aviation. The crew's training and decisive action prevented tragedy, earning the gratitude of all on board. Federal charges send a clear message: interference with flight operations will not be tolerated. Passengers play a role too. Reporting concerns and following instructions is vital. Every layer of security, from training to law enforcement, worked as intended. As we travel, let's remember, respect and cooperation keep us all safe.